Hey, what's going on? This is Garcia from Weichert Realtors. Today, I wanted to give you a market update with the June numbers. We're going to look at three specific things. We're going to look at Nassau County. We're going to look at Suffolk County. We're going to look at Massapequa. And we're going to look at Farmingdale. So let's get right into it. If you are interested in this stuff because you do have a real estate need, I'd love to chat about it, see if I can put together a custom plan to kind of accomplish your goals. If you're just kicking tires and still had some specific questions, love to answer those for you as well. So reach out. So let's dig in. Let's look at June. So look at some of the metrics. Farmingdale, you have a medium sales price that's actually up 15.9%. Days on market is down 28% to 15 days, which is significant. So homes are selling at a rapid pace as they get listed in Farmingdale. That's good for sellers. It's a little challenging for buyers. So the inventory trend, we still are down, 12.5%. Let's look at Massapequa. Massapequa, again, median sales price is up almost 16% as well. So, home prices are increasing in these towns. They're hot towns. Days on market is a little higher. So actually days on market increased. It could be due to some of the outliers, maybe these high-end houses on the bay that might be on the market a little longer. But nonetheless, 38 days on the market, which is still somewhat fast. Homes that go on the market to under contract in 38 days, that's still, a strong seller's market kind of number. Inventory trend down 23%, so there's less houses on the market. Nassau County as a whole is up 12.5%. Suffolk County is up 5.3% as far as medium sales prices. That is lower. So, Farmingdale and Massapequa are actually outperforming these counties. So, interesting stat there. Days on market in Nassau County, 35 days. Suffolk County, 39 days. As we get through, we're going to look at new listings. So again, Farmingdale listings is down 9.5%. So there's less listings available when we look at a year-to-year change with June of 2025 compared to 2024. Massapequa, you have a 12% increase, a 26% increase. And Nassau County, you're down, roughly 30%. Suffolk County, you're down 2.5%. So some differing numbers there. So Farmingdale and Nassau kind of saw fewer new listings indicating constrained supply, right? So that's something that we knew, right? We feel that in the market, but when we put a number on it, we compare it to months. It's going to be good information if you're a seller on where you should list. And, these data points do help, with the pricing strategy and trying to figure out the best price possible to get you the top price possible. Same thing for a buyer. So if you see days on market increasing in certain towns, maybe outperforming others, you might have some opportunity there on certain listings in certain areas. Massapequa was a standout with significant increase, which could create a buyer opportunity. So if we look there, it's up 26% as far as new listings. So interesting stuff. We look at median sales price. Again, we kind of went over this already, but what does this mean? So, Farmingdale and Nassau and Massapequa are actually outperforming Nassau and Suffolk County. So Nassau local markets are seeing faster appreciation than Suffolk County. But that kind of being said, Suffolk County, remains, moderate, but you are still seeing homes appreciating. So days on market, I love looking at days on market. I look at it all the time. It really tells a picture on what kind of demand you're in. So, something called the market absorption rate is super important, but days on market is also important. So Farmingdale, 15 days on the market. So when a house goes on the market, within 15 days on average, that house will be no longer on the market and it'll be under contract. Massapequa, 38 days, and again, 35 days for Nassau and 39 days for Suffolk. So homes in Farmingdale and Suffolk County are moving quicker than Massapequa and Nassau County. But again, certain houses are selling, in a weekend above asking price. So I compare it to the tail of two listings. So there could be two listings in the same town and we look at average, data points, but obviously all houses are not the same. So if a house is priced correctly and somewhat updated, we might see days on market, 6 or 7 days in some cases, and home prices, significantly higher than asking price and vice versa. So it's another listing might sit on the market for quite a bit and actually sell for below asking. So real important to look at these data points, but each house definitely does speak for themselves. As far as inventory levels, We're still down. We're down in inventory. There's a lot of speculation that we might see more listings come into the market, and across other parts of the country there are, but the Northeast and specifically Long Island, we like to be different, and the data points show that we are different. In these softening markets throughout the country, we are not in a softening market at all. It's just the opposite. So inventory remains very tight across pretty much all of Long Island, but specifically Nassau and Farmingdale. Suffolk County does offer more options, slower price increases. So again, if you had a house in Nassau County, thinking of selling and maybe moving a little further out east, it might be a little more affordable, and you might have some more negotiation power. So that's something that you could take a look at. As far as list versus sale price, you have Farmingdale 106, 106%. So home prices are going over asking, selling for 106% of the asking price, the original asking price. Massapequa are still going over asking on average at 101, almost 102%. Nassau County is going above, and so is Suffolk going above. So you see here, we are somewhat insulated from some of these softening markets and some of these headlines, that we're reading throughout the country, and home prices are selling over asking on average. So sellers in Farmingdale receiving well above asking, but all of these markets are getting over asking. So what does this mean for buyers? So as far as buyers do have more opportunities, specifically in Suffolk and maybe Massapequa, but more opportunities than they have in a long time. And we're kind of feeling that in the market. And, some data points show that you do have slower growth in some areas, giving, buyers potential leverage. And if we look at these numbers, we're comparing it year over year, but if we're looking at like post-COVID numbers, we do have a situation where things are better for buyers than they were in 2021, 22, and 23. So when we compare it to that, and a lot of the buyers that are out there were buyers in 2021, 22, and 23, they're in a much better position. We are starting to see the Fed indicating that they're going to start reducing rates, which is going to have an effect on mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are going to trend down as the Fed lowers their rates. So that's going to help buyers' purchasing power. Question is that going to drive prices up? And that's kind of to be determined. Some challenges is you need to be prepared on some houses to offer above asking. So be prepared for that. Talk to your realtor, whether it's me or anybody else. And some houses you might be able to get a deal on and maybe negotiate a little bit, but some you might have to go over asking if you want that house. And you have limited time to act as well. So when you are looking for a house, you need to be prepared to basically look at that house right away. So when you are looking, you need to be prepared to act immediately. When a house pops up that you think might work, you need to jump on that. You need to check it out, and you need to decide if you want to make an offer. You can't really sit on your hands and wait. Be prepared with your mortgage pre-approval. Have all your ducks in a row, so that way that if that right house pops up, you're definitely in a position, the best position possible to make that offer and make it look as compelling as possible. So what does this mean for sellers? So there's a lot of opportunity for sellers. So there's high demand in basically all of Long Island, but Farmingdale especially, and Nassau County as a whole. There's less competition due to low inventory. Again, we knew that, but when you are sitting down with somebody and going over these data points, it's a major role as far as pricing strategy. We look at past sales, we look at comparable sales, but that paints a prior market, right? That paints the picture of a prior market. It doesn't tell you what's happening in the near future. Market trends do that. These data points tell you what's going on. The market absorption rate, when we compare how many houses are available and how many went under contract over a period of time, these are indications and data points that's going to help you with the best pricing strategy possible. It's really important to look at this stuff. Also look at your competition. So if somebody was interested in looking at your house, what other homes might they look at in your market? And then you're going to strategically be somewhere, whether it's over that, asking over those homes, under, matching those homes, whatever it is, it's going to be on purpose and it's going to be strategic. Some considerations that you might want to look at. Overpricing can hurt, especially in Massapequa and some other towns. Days on market's starting to increase a little bit, and it could be due to prices being a little above where the market is saying they should be. staging, presentation. We're starting to see those really clean, updated homes are selling for way above asking, and the homes that might have some deferred maintenance, they are sitting on the market a little longer, and buyers are in a position where they can negotiate. So if you do have that house and you are a seller that might have some deferred maintenance, each situation and each item in your house is kind of a case by case, but sometimes it makes sense to invest in maintaining that house, upgrading something, addressing something before you list it to the market. So if you have some things that you think might come up, it's important to talk to your realtor whether it makes sense for that investment or not. And get listed before the summer inventory bumps arrive. So we're already in July, and there's going to be more houses coming to the market, but you might want to move a little faster. If interest rates start to go down, you might see more sellers getting off the fence, more buyers coming out. So it might be a good idea, if you are looking to sell in the near future, to maybe just move up your timeline a little bit if it works for your needs. If not, you gotta respect your timeline, and your realtor has to respect your timeline. So final thoughts: Farmingdale, definitely super hot right now. Quick sales, multiple offers. Massapequa, strategic pricing is needed. It's really important to kind of price it correctly, and that's any market, that's any area. But with inventory up a little bit, buyer pool is a little cautious, maybe not willing to just pay any price. You got to be a little strategic with your pricing. Nassau County is still competitive, starting to balance, I guess you could say, and it's a better market for compared to some prior years. Suffolk County, it's a good move up or investment value right now. So if you are looking maybe to sell in Nassau or buy in Suffolk County, it might be a good financial decision, which is not going to be your driving force. But if you are considering it, it could financially work out for you. So if you're looking for a personalized kind of strategy, a personalized plan to buy or sell, love to chat with you. Go over the data, because looking at this data is going to help you win the market. And I could definitely help you out with that. So if you have any questions, you could call or text me at 516-993-7041. Again, any questions you might have, even if you're just kicking some tires, even if you're just kind of curious on what's going on or have a specific question, I'm in this business for the long haul. So I'm happy to help you out in any way possible. No obligation, no cost. And if you were looking to buy or sell, interview me for the job. So hope this helps, and we'll see you next month.